Today, we are going to take you guys into our portfolio and show you how our portfolio compared to the S&P 500's returns. Matter of fact, spoiler alert, we outperformed the S&P 500 once again. I am so excited because this video, we are going to take you into our portfolio, show you the returns, and give you some insight into how we invest and how that style has allowed us to continue to outperform the S&P 500 year after year after year. Hey guys, it's Amon
and Christina
from Our Rich Journey.
So today we are going to talk about how we were able to outperform the S&P 500. This is very rare to be able to do this and to also be able to do it consistently. But we have some basic rules that we follow when investing. They are simple, they are boring, but we are consistent with implementing them. So what we are going to do is we're going to open up our portfolio, show you the returns that we have in our different investment accounts, and then we're going to walk through all the rules that we follow in order to get the type of returns that we have been getting. But before we do, quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is our own personal experience with how we're investing. You should always do your own research and make sure that the investments and the rules that you follow work best for you.
But if you want to learn more about investing and more about financial independence and retiring early, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We do at least one video a week, more like 2 or 3 lately, because we have so much information to share. And if that is something you are interested in, make sure to follow our channel and hit that notification bell.
All right, now let's get into our portfolio and our returns, but first we really need to set the baseline because we're comparing our portfolio to the S&P 500. And in 2025, the S&P 500 returned 17.88%.
Now that is a spectacular return. You know, when you are thinking about the average return in the stock market and you are doing your return calculations, most investors typically expect about 10% return. But lately, the stock market has been on a tear. And getting 17.88% this year, that's incredible. But what's even more incredible is to be able to exceed that.
Now here is what is really amazing. If all you did was invest in a low-cost index fund that tracked the S&P 500 or an ETF that tracked the S&P 500, you are getting incredible returns. And that brings us to our first account, which is our TSP, our Thrift Savings Plan, which is similar to a 401k, but for federal government employees.
Now with our 401k, our investment options are very limited. But what we have done and what we've always done with the account is simply put that money in a fund that tracks the S&P 500. And because that particular investment account, actually both of those investment accounts were invested in the S&P 500, we got almost exactly the same returns. So first on the screen is Christina's account. And in her account, she had a return of 17.85. If you look at my account, which is invested in the same fund, you got another 17.85%.
So we're just 0.03% off of the total return for the S&P 500. The reason why there is a slight difference with our returns is basically because when you invest in an index fund or ETF that tracks the S&P 500, it's typically not matching the S&P 500 exactly. There are some slight variations with the index fund or ETF, and that accounts for the return that we have.
So that's our TSP or our 401k equivalent. Let's talk about the other accounts, the accounts where we have a little bit more freedom to invest in whatever we practically want to. And so that brings us to our Vanguard and Fidelity accounts. Now in these Vanguard and Fidelity accounts, we have several other accounts within them. We have our SEP IRA, our traditional IRA, our normal brokerage account. We have a ton of accounts. They are all serving a purpose, but as a whole, we are going to look at the accounts that we have at that brokerage. And so when we look at my Vanguard account, drum roll please, you can see that my account returned 19%. Now we're going to get into why it's higher than the S&P 500 returns, but let's move on to Christina's account. Now with Christina's account, it's the same thing. She has her SEP IRA, she has her regular brokers, her traditional, her Roth IRA. She has several investment accounts at Vanguard. But all of those accounts combined at Vanguard, she has had a return of 19.2%. And this brings us to our last account, which is at Fidelity. Now, this is a pure brokerage account. There are no other retirement accounts that we hold at Fidelity. So what you see on the screen is just one brokerage account. Within that brokerage account, we had a return of 23.7%. 23.7%, that's incredible. Which brings us to something very important to point out, especially once you start to build these portfolios. When you get returns like this, it is some serious money.
So I'll give you an example. For every $1 million invested, a 20% return results in $200,000 a year. And in our case, we have several $1 million in all of our accounts. The returns that we are getting just from our accounts, from not even working at all, are higher than what we were getting paid when we were working full-time 9 to 5.
You have to let that sink in.
Yeah.
You have to really let that sink in, because this is why we invest. I am so grateful. I am thanking young Amon for putting that money away, because that money has grown to heights that it has replaced our income. And that's incredible, because that's when you understand that your money is working harder than you ever could.
So those are our returns, but let's talk about the rules that we follow, that we implement in order to get those types of returns that outperform the S&P 500. The first rule is very simple, which is we start with a core investment. Our core investment is the total stock market index fund. For us, it is VTSAX.
So you've heard us talk a lot about VTSAX on this channel. We invest in it consistently. We don't abandon it. This is the foundation of our portfolios, and it never changes.
Now, when we're talking about the foundation of our portfolio, we mean that VTSAX makes up more than 50% of our portfolio. It's the core of our portfolio, what holds our portfolio all together. Now, let's get into rule number 2. For us, it's simple as well. Anything that we invest in that is not VTSAX, we have this belief that that investment must outperform VTSAX.
It has to be better. We have to have a belief that if we are not putting our money into VTSAX, whatever we are buying, it has to do better than VTSAX. We have done the research and we have formulated that belief.
So in our case, when we're looking at different investments that we think will outperform VTSAX, we're talking about sector ETFs, we're talking about individual stocks, things that we see have a potential, again, for outperforming VTSAX.
Now, we're not going to go all into the individual stocks and ETFs that we invest in, but we have talked a lot about them on this channel, so make sure to go check out some of our other videos.
And if you want actually a complete breakdown of all of our investments and what we invest in, you can also check out our stock market investing course. It goes into our investment plan, our philosophy, all of the investments that we have, and it helps you also build your own stock market investment plan. You can learn more at ourrichjourney.com, and we'll also leave a link in the description below.
And this brings us to rule number 3. We buy more when others panic. Year after year, the stock market always has some sort of dip that year. And 2025 was no different. We had the tariff scares, we had a bunch of different scares, but all of these were buying opportunities where we saw certain stocks or the total stock market or certain ETFs go on sale. They would dip. And instead of not investing, instead of stop investing, we would invest more. We would buy the dip.
Now, this is really important because I feel like, especially new investors, when you see the market dip or if there's a crash, you tend to want to stop investing, stay on the sidelines, wait for the market to recover, and then you start investing again. For us, we are always dollar cost averaging and consistently investing. If we have extra money that we need to invest, these are great opportunities to put even more money into the market. The idea is don't panic when there are crashes or the market goes down. This is a great opportunity to continue investing, to grow your money, and to earn an even higher return.
And this brings us to rule number 4. We selectively invest in sector ETFs. Now, investing in a sector like technology, healthcare, whatever you may have, is so important when it comes to outperforming the total stock market. For us, we research sectors which we think have the greatest potential. And in 2025, technology by far was a sector that we invested heavily in, and that accounts for the better returns than the S&P 500.
Now, when you're investing in sector ETFs, and if you also invest in something like a total stock market ETF or an S&P 500 index fund or ETF, there's going to be a lot of overlap. But the sector ETFs have more emphasis in specific companies in a particular sector. So for us, something like technology or healthcare, you're going to be focused more on that type of sector than you would be if you're investing in the total stock market or the S&P 500.
Now let's talk about rule number 5, and probably one of the major reasons why we outperformed the stock market in 2025 was because we invested in individual stocks. Now, we encourage you, if you are new to investing and you don't want to go through the trials and tribulations and all the scariness, don't invest in individual stocks. We are seasoned investors. And so we feel confident enough to pick the right companies to invest in. And that is what we did in 2025. We did more investing in individual stocks.
Now, I do want to clarify for us, our way of investing, our strategy is that we understand that investing in individual stocks can be very risky. So for us, we always invest less than 10% of our total portfolio in individual stocks.
So that's it. Those are our simple rules when it comes to investing in the stock market and outperforming the stock market. What you didn't hear us talk about was day trading, options trading, or gambling. We didn't do any of that because that's not what long-term investors do. And on this channel, that's what we want to emphasize. We want to get you guys to financial independence and early retirement, and we want you to stay financially independent and retired early.
Now, one thing that is very important for you as an investor, this always works for us, is that we remove emotion from investing. We stay consistent and we invest according to our plan. If you do not have a stock market investing plan, you need to design your plan today. We have, like I said, our stock market investing course helps you build your own stock market investing plan. You can look at our plan and see how we designed ours and what we invest in. If you are interested in learning more, you can go to ourrichjourney.com, or we'll also leave a link in the description below. Now, with that said, we hope we gave you some rules to really think about as you design your own portfolio. We hope that you will go out and do tons of research so that you get incredible returns and possibly also beat the S&P 500. Now, if you like this video, make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.